Fulcrum Day is finally here. Eagle Dynamics has launched a full-fidelity MiG-29A Fulcrum into early access, and this might be the biggest single patch we've seen all year. The Fulcrum brings authentic systems, brutal dogfighting performance, and a long-awaited Cold War icon into DCS at study level. But that's not all. This patch also delivers a complete R-27 missile overhaul, brand new RSBN PRMG ground units, and massive terrain updates across Iraq, Caucasus, Sinai, South Atlantic, and Cold War Germany. And if you watched the release trailer closely, you might have noticed something completely new for DCS. Your pilot actually climbs up a ladder into the cockpit. That little detail could mean a lot more than it looks like on the surface. Stick around because we're going to cover it all: the Fulcrum, the ladder, the patch notes, and where DCS might be headed next. The MiG-29A we've got is the 9.12A export variant, a point defense fighter built in the 1980s as a counter to Western 4th-gen jets. At full fidelity, you get a laser scan 3D cockpit with every switch and label modeled, the SPO-15LM Berioza RWR, full countermeasures, and an in-depth fire-controlled radar. The IRST with laser rangefinder, giving you stealthy close combat ranging and immunity to jamming. The helmet-mounted sight, which lets you look, lock, and launch the R-73 Archer. Weapons include the R-27 family, the R-73, the older R-60, and R-60M, and of course the G-31 cannon. For strike missions, you've got unguided bombs, rockets, and canisters with multiple delivery profiles. And yes, the Fulcrum comes loaded with deliveries from all over the world: Russia, Poland, East Germany, India, Egypt, and even Cuba. And yes, the US operated a handful for testing. This jet isn't just about firepower, it's about feel. High thrust to weight, nose authority, and that raw energy retention that makes it an absolute menace in a phone booth fight. Now let's talk about the moment everyone noticed in the release video: the ladder animation. For the first time in DCS, we saw a pilot walk up and physically climb into the cockpit. Right now this is in the experimental developer build, not available to everyone. Eagle Dynamics has said clearly they want community feedback. Do players actually want this level of immersion? Here's where it gets interesting. Could this be the first step towards a walk-around mode like we've seen in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024? Imagine being able to leave the cockpit and freely roam around your aircraft, inspecting damage, doing a pre-flight, or just soaking in the details. And it doesn't stop there. Think about what happens when you eject in DCS today. Your pilot floats down and that's it. Restart or pick another slot. Pretty anticlimactic. But if ED builds out a walk-around framework, ejecting could mean actually returning to base. Maybe you hike back, maybe you rendezvous with friendlies in your multiplayer. Suddenly, ejecting has consequences and stories, not just a fade to black. Of course, there's a trade-off. Some players want to get straight to the flying, and that's fine. That's why these features need to be optional toggles. But for immersion junkies, imagine spawning cold and dark, walking up to the ladder, strapping in, and feeling like you just stepped into a real sortie. So I'll ask you, do you want more of this immersion? Or should ED keep the focus strictly inside the cockpit? The MiG-29A did launch with some known issues, and ED is quick with a first week patch coming out next week. Fixes include swapping the cannon and missile trigger animations, correcting the intake louvers, adding an optional low-resolution cockpit texture pack, refining chaff and flare sequencing, restoring the controls indicator overlay, adding an English HUD and HDD option. Known issues remain: autopilot stick oscillations at low speed, light leakage, brake chute visibility in multiplayer, radar launch authorization quirks, and a few ejection and muzzle flash bugs. A huge 3D detailing pass is underway to refine textures, pylons, canopy reflections, the pilot model, and add more liveries. Future roadmap items include a ground control intercept system, full IFF modeling, radar IRST cooperative modes, an ED campaign, and improved ejection seat animations. Beyond the Fulcrum, the biggest headline is the complete rework of the R-27 missile family. These missiles now use CFD-based aerodynamics, authentic control system modeling, including actuator limits, new INS and data link behavior, Kalman-style seeker filters that allow multi-target interference, updated proximity fuses with variable delays. In practice, this means radar-guided R-27s will be more vulnerable to chaff, IR versions will feel sharper, and overall, BVR engagements against and with the Fulcrum will be far more realistic. DCS Core got a big boost too. RSBN PRMG ground units can now be placed anywhere. The Caucasus and Cold War Germany maps have integrated channels. The mission editor got finer rotation controls and decimal inputs. The rearming window and dynamic slots now include search bars. Liveries can be reloaded live in the encyclopedia, a gift for skin makers. The terrain engine was optimized to load only needed models, improving startup performance. The quick action generator now randomizes enemy units and AI skills for more replayability. And here's one for the graphic tweakers. ED has added new mirror rendering settings. You can now adjust mirror resolution and sequential rendering, which is especially helpful for VR users and anyone trying to balance immersion with performance. These may sound like small things, but together they really polish the experience. This patch wasn't just for the Fulcrum. Lots of modules got attention. The F-16C, fixes for the emergency jettison logic, Maverick slew rate, HOTAS issues, HTS had overlap, and targeting pod behavior. The FA-18C got MSI stability in TWS RWS, A-130 desync fixes, JDAM E-fuse corrections, and countermeasure tweaks. The Apache got reduced yaw wobble and George AI loop fix. The Viggen got a massive overhaul. It now has the ability to eat meat. No, but the different type of Viggen here. New electrical system, breaker logic, new failures, improved lighting, and restored sidewinder locks. Other module fixes include the MI-24P gunner view fixed, MI-8 side numbers restored, Corsair got some liveries and FM tweaks, JF-17 HUD Piper fix, OH-58D nav crash fixes, and the MiG-21 kneeboard updates. The terrain teams were busy. Iraq map has new airfields like Al-Qut, Mosul, and the entire H3 complex, improved signage, taxiways, and landmarks across the country. Caucasus has higher res texture, extended tree draw distance, RSBN PRMG updates, corrupted scenery fixes. The Sinai map has now exited early access with take-hand fixes, new bases, smoother textures, and unique new scenes in Egypt, Jordan, and Israel. South Atlantic also exit early access, huge texture upgrades, optimized airfields, modernized vegetation, improved lighting, animated wind turbines, an updated F-10 map with borders and helipads. And last but not least, the Cold War Germany map got RSBN PRMG beacon updates across dozens of legacy fields. Together, these map improvements massively raise immersion across DCS. There is some additions to the Cola map. Those will come in the next update. So here's the takeaway. The Fulcrum is finally here. The R-27 overhaul makes missile combat feel fresh, and the maps you fly over are looking better than ever. But the most interesting part might be that little ladder animation. Could it evolve into a true walkaround mode? Could ejecting finally mean more than a black screen? Eagle Dynamics has opened the door, and it's up to us, the community, to let them know if we want to see more. Now I want to hear from you. Did the ladder blow your mind, or do you think it's just fluff? And for those already flying the Fulcrum, how's it stacking up in dogfights and BVR? If you want to support the channel, hit that join button and become a channel member today. And don't forget, I'm live on weekdays at noon GMT, so come hang out, ask questions, and fly along with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the merge.